Today, we brought to you another beautiful dashboard created in Power BI, Employees Insight Dashboard or HR Dashboard. Now, I'm going to show you the 15 rules you need to follow in order to create a very well formatted dashboard. Here are my 15 rules to design a perfect dashboard in any tools of your choice, not just limited to Power BI. Now we have rule number 1 down to rule number 15. If you follow all those rules we have right now, you're going to create a very perfect dashboard in any tools you must have chosen, specifically Power BI. Now, if you look at the dashboard we have right now, every single rules, are being followed to create dashboard. So our color are very well maintained, and as well the alignment and how we should format our numbers. Now, what about the templates? You cannot create something like this in Power BI, but PowerPoint will help you to do this. I'm going to show you how to get this created in PowerPoint and some kind of exported it out and import it inside Power BI just to have something like this. So if you're ready to create this from the scratch with me, let's get on it. To get started, let us insert a new PBIX. So go to File and click on New, and there you go. Just give it some time to come up. Now, there we go. We have it right here. So what is next is for which some kind of get in our data. So you know what way you need to do that? Wait, so just allow it to actually bring the sources available. So remember, you need to know what file type you want to actually bring in right here. And in this particular case of ours, we want Excel files. So we have to make sure we have the Excel file selected, which is Excel workbook. Double click on it, it's going to actually navigate you straight up to your system, just like what we have right now. So we have to go to resources. I'm going to open it up right from here. Then here we go, we have Employee Insight Dashboard, open it up. And here we go, we have the HR data. So double click on it and push it into Power BI. Sorry, do we have to do that for the first time? I guess no, because we're not really sure if our data is clean or not. So for that, we have to make sure we push this into Power Query. So we have the employee data right here. So let us see what it is that we have inside this table. So if we scroll through right now, we can see all through what we have, and you have to actually check other tables to know what is existing in those table, except you are very sure on what you really need. So for that, the one I'm going to choose is actually this one checked. So now when we click on load, we load straight to Power BI without going through Power Query. So for that, I'm going to click on this particular transform for me to go to my Power Query, check my data to see every single column if it is okay for me to push it into Power BI. All right, I'm going to say welcome to Power Query. Here is the place we're going to actually have to do all that cleaning of a thing. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is to come right here. I name this my data. Just name this data. That's all. So we have the whole table name changed. And next again is from some scroll to go through every single column to see if we have the right data set for every single columns right here. Can you see it right now? So I've scanned through, none of those columns are really bad. So what I want to do right now is go to view and let us be sure of every single column being okay. So I'm going to go for column quality. Here we go. We have to check those particular percentages we have right here. So we need to have valid 100%, right? So and check the error to be on 0% and the empty to be on 0%. If you go through all the whole column and you are very much satiated with what you have, then the next thing is for you to load this straight up to your Power BI. Okay, with what I've seen right now, everything is cool. Nothing is being messed up right here. We have a clean data. That is the first thing you need to do. So I'm going to actually go ahead and select this. And next is for me to come right here, go to home, and from home, we have to click on close and apply. Have the data inside Power BI. If I go right here right now, I can have it opened and you're going to see all the tables we have right on it. And coming to this particular data view, it gives us the overview of the data we have, just like what we've had in Power Query and when we actually open it up in Microsoft Excel. The same table we have right here is still the same table we have both in Power Query and in Power BI. So now this is how you should actually go about it when you want to some kind of get data. Make sure you check the data, the quality of the data, each column, all that. So if you have any unwanted character, go ahead and take it off. And if you have some empty spaces whatsoever, it's gonna make your your report or your dashboard not some kind of like what you want. So just go ahead and make sure you take everything off. But if you have a clean data and you're very sure of it, you do not need to pass through Power Query. So you can just take it up to Power BI straight up. But it's always very important for you to check to see what it is that you have. Before we finally get started to create some measures and get a dashboard created, so we have to some kind of bring in the template we've created, but we've not done that. We have to create that from the scratch, just for me to show you how I got everything created just like this and like this as well. So what do we do? Let's get started. So now I'm going to Control N quickly. That will help me to insert a new, PowerPoint. So if you don't know how to do that, just go right here, go to File, and what you're gonna see is New, right? So here is New, or you can actually come right here and click on Blank Presentation, right? So go back, and here we go. We're right here. Okay, you must have known how we used to do it. Just take this off, we don't need it. Leave the height and the width. We just need it to be like this. Now we have to change the inner color from white to the cool color. That's going to make our dashboard look very beautiful. So for the color we need, we just have to right click and go to Format Background right here. Let's see what we have. If I bring this right, I'm going to zoom, wait to see that. So can you see what we have right here? So now we just have to make sure we go up a little bit and come to this particular color area. So just go down, and we can't find the color we're looking for right here. So what we need to do right now is to mix the color up, and it's very simple and easy. When you click on more colors, what you're going to have is this. So we can still pick the color we see right here. We are not some kind of very cool with those colors. So go to Custom, and it's time for you to get into this particular part right here. So if your PowerPoint does not have this hex code, so what you're going to do is just like, I'm going to paste in the hex code right here. Can you see this right now? So if I just click on OK, let me click on OK. So I'm going to go back to the same color. Let's see what we have. So go to more colors, and now here is it. This is what you need. If you don't have the hex code and you have this particular RGB like red, green, and blue, so just go ahead and type these numbers right inside your own PowerPoint, and you're going to have the same color that I have as well. Follow every single step and everything will really just look like the same, right? So we are cool. I'm going to cancel out already. We've changed our color, so we can go and take this off. So next is for we to some kind of create something for the header. If I go to the previous one right now, this is what we have. So we have this particular, stuff right here. So how do we do that? It's very simple and easy. So let's get back and come right here. So what you need to do right now is, so scroll all the way to the top. So remember, I used to have my, most of my office productivity some kind of customized the way that I feel like I'm going to be cool with. If you are really cool with this, just go ahead and actually make it this way. And this is how it is going to look like. But I just love taking the whole screen, and every single time I want to take something from the ribbon, I click at the ribbon top, and it actually has some kind of has a drop down for me. You understand? So I'm not so cool with this way of the look, right? So I just go right here and make sure I have it on auto hide ribbon, and I have something like this. Don't feel like, well, what the heck are you doing? Okay, now if I come right here, once I see this particular gray, I just tap it and I'm gonna have this opened. So now quickly I just have to go right here. If you can't find this, please go to Insert, and once you click on Insert, from Insert you can go to Shapes, and from Shapes you can see all the icons we have right here. So now here we go. So we have to go to Star and Banners and pick this particular wave right here and just drag it down. Okay, for it to be on the same page, let us do this, right? I'm gonna come right here. So we have to use the height to be 1.55, That is the height. So just go right here and come to, shape format. And here we go. We just have to make the height to be 1.55. And if we go back to the same place again, we're going to see this one. That is the weight, right? So it's going to be 13.98. That is what it is. So here we go. If I hit enter right now, I'm going to have this. So we have to move it up to cover this particular part right here, just like this. So once we have the whole of it being some kind of being covered, we release it. So we're going to have something like this. But what is next? Okay, we have to change the color and make it very much more popped out from the background that we have. To do that now, just come on it and actually right click, and you're going to see this, go to shape format or format shape, and come right here. We can't find the color we're looking for right here. Go to more colors, the way, right? Just make sure you some kind of like have this right in. So we have a new code, some kind of being, right here right now. So if you look at it, we have hash 1F0038. That is what it is. So if I step out right now, it changes, and it changes to this particular codes right here. That is the RGB. If you don't have hex code, don't forget to copy this, and I'm going to hit my enter key. And this is what I'm going to have, right? If I step out right now, what I'm going to have is this particular kind of shape with some, border around it, or some line around it. So we have to take off the line. So what are we supposed to do? Click back on it, and you're going to see this particular line right here. Go ahead and say no line, and you're going to have this. Okay. Now we just want some kind of step off a little bit from the background. So what do we do? How do we do that? Very simple and easy. Click back on it. Go to this particular effect area and click on shadow. And now click right here, and you're going to see different perspective of the shadow, the way they look like. So the one I always love to use is the outer, not the inner. So I'm going to actually affect the outer part. And once I see this particular one I love, I'm going to click on it. So I'm going to have this one that some kind of has its shadow, under it, not above or behind it, wherever it is. So just click right on this one. Can you see what it is right now? If I step out, it's a little bit popped out than usual, right? So you can play around with it to see which one is best for you, but this is the one that I feel like is going to be cool with what we are doing. We need to add some text. So to just tell what the dashboard is all about. So right from here, you can see what we call text box. Just go ahead and click on it and drag it down and type in whatever you want to type right here. So right here, we have, employee insight dashboard, which is not very much visible right now. So I am going to go to the top level here, and I'm going to click on home. From home, we have to go and change this to this particular area block right here. And I'm going to actually scroll all the way down to get 32, and let's see how it looks. So make sure we select, when the cursor blinks, whatever action you actually, some kind of want to happen to the text will not really work. So make sure you just click and disallow the cursor from blinking, and now go to the top and make the changes. So we're going to change it to area black just like this. So we have it. And I'm going to bring it up to 32, and let's see what we have. And quickly, we have to make sure we have it on white, and you can see what we have right now. So go ahead and stretch it out, and this is what it is. So go ahead and make sure it goes to the top right here. Bring it down a bit. Okay, now we have this. So I'm going to have to duplicate this. Ctrl D to have it duplicated. So let's clear this out, Ctrl A, and I'm going to clear it out. And inside here, we have to type something else that is going to some kind of further explain our dashboard. Like, I'm going to have something like this. It's too huge, so right now we have to reduce it to look very okay. Go to the top, make sure you disallow the cursor from blinking. Then we have to some kind of go right here. First of all, I'm going to come right here and use something like this. I'm going to go right and reduce it to just something like 18 or 16 will be okay for me. And we just have to make sure we reduce this. So, can you see what we have right now? So previously we had employees insight dashboard, getting to know our organization and employees better. So it depends on what kind of dashboard you are creating. So you have to create something that will definitely make whoever is seeing dashboard from afar, not until the person comes very close to the dashboard before he or she gets to understand what the dashboard is all about. So always make sure this is how the dashboard is being created, to tell story from afar. Alright, next is for we to kind of have this duplicated, but we need to create this over and over again. And how do we do that? It's very simple and easy. Make sure you have your cursor right here and go ahead and right click, and what you can see right now is duplicate slide. Once you click on that, you have your duplicate. Now, what is going to be the difference between this slide and this slide is the icons that will go inside it, and as well the kind of analysis we might want to use either of it for. So now, how do we get those icons? If I go to the previous one, so you can see we have those icons right here. I'm going to take this off. So we have, female and male icon, and we come right here. We have people's icon. We have male icon that's some kind of has this cross, red cross, which we don't know what it is yet. And we have this handshake and all that. So now you have to make sure whatever icons you must have chosen will definitely convey a particular message. Don't just pick an icon because you have to put the icon on your dashboard. It's not going to work that way. Do not do it. Okay, first of all, let us start from here. We have to get one male and one female. And if I quickly go right here, I'm going to show you how to get it inside PowerPoint without using kind of visiting any other external site. Go to the top left right here on the ribbon and click on insert. And from there, you're going to see these particular icons, right? So we have 3D, not 3D, but this time around is just icons. So make sure you have active internet connection. If you have an active internet connection, you're going to have every single icon you are looking for. It's going to take a little while, depends on the speed of your computer. Okay, right now, as you can see, it's loading. So gradually, let us wait for it. Okay, we have it. So the best way to get what you want is to kind of make a search of the kind of icon you want. Although, if you know where the icon is, it's going to fall on the categories we have right now. You can actually click on it and pick whatever you want to pick. Can you see? We have different kinds of icon embedded inside those particular, arrow and animals analytics right here. But we're not so sure where we can see male or female. I'm going to type in my female right here. So now I have the female right here. So I'm going to type in girl. So I still have something different. I'm going to click on this. So once you have this click done, if you're looking for something like boy and you can't find it on this particular one, don't worry, already this has been counted for us. Go back and some kind of select something else. Boy, and it gives me this. I'm going to select this. So now I have to be inserted for me. Alright, we have this, and the next thing we're going to do right now is to make sure we actually change the colors to those icons. Right click and quickly go to format graphic, and here we go. We have this right here. So for we to format the graphic to look very beautiful, we have to choose the kind of color that's going to match our background. And I choose something like this. And if you feel like you want to make it a little bit darker, not to be kind of too bright, you might want to use this, right? And you can do the same thing to this, or we can just go right here to the top level and go to home. From home, look at this particular brush and use the format painter just to make sure you give it to this one nicely, right? Okay, now we have to some kind of make it, sit at this particular spot. All right, quickly, you can some kind of, hold them together and just reduce them accordingly until you have your desired, size, right? All right, let me just make you understand something. When I create my dashboard, I spend a lot of time trying to do the formatting. I might some kind of be a little bit quick right here. What I need you to know very importantly is that I've taken my time to create the original version of it. And for me to some kind of replicate this is going to be very, very easy for me. You understand? So when working in our PowerPoint, Power BI, Excel, you're going to spend a lot of time to make sure you keep some kind of adjusting every single time until you have your desired shape. So for that, Or sometimes you might actually export this out and you import it inside Power BI, and you're going to find out that where the icon is sitting is not really where you want it to some kind of sit. All you have to do is to come back and make adjustment. Okay, now let me show you another trick you can actually use. So here is the dashboard we've created out of the template we're just creating right now. Okay, let's say when I some kind of like try to some kind of add these particular icons, and what I did was not really cool. Maybe this icon is sitting right here. All I need to do is make sure I add all my text and take a screenshot of this. Or let me show you the sample. I'm going to bring it screenshot tool up. Where is it? So we have the snipping tool. So you can make a search if you're using, Windows, just Windows 10. So just type for snipping tool, you're going to see it. All I need to do is just to come right here and just take a screenshot of it like this. And here we go. So I'm going to save it somewhere I can actually go ahead and pick it up. I'm going to save as, I want to save it to desktop, and quickly I'm going to call it shut. So save it. So I'm going to cancel out from here. I want to go back to my PowerPoint, and I'm going to go right here. And now this is where I want to come, right? So all I need to do is just to go ahead and pick it up. Go to insert and pictures, and here from my device. And I'm going to go to my desktop, and I have to make search for shut. Just type your S. Okay, you can actually have your cursor right here and type in your shut. So now you have it. Here we go. You can click on open. So you might have something as small as this, or what you need to do is just to make sure you fit it right here and some kind of expand it out to make a fill for you. So once you've made a fill, now let's say what we had is some kind of not really at the right spot, and you want to centralize it. So now you can just go ahead and bring up this right here. Let me just go back to this part here and bring up these ones. And here we go. I'm going to bring them up. Control C. I want to go back right there. I'm just showing you a way to do it in case you're having problem or issues with like how did you arrange all this. So I'm going to have to paste it down right here. So because already we've done it before, we're having this. So maybe what I want to do is just to make sure I have this right here. Sorry, I think I have missed something. I'm going to go back. And we have to individually, sorry for that. Let's see this, if it is some kind of grouped. Okay, it's not grouped yet. And let's see if this is grouped. Okay, this is not grouped. I have to some kind of highlight it and group it for the first time. Go ahead and group it and click on group. So now we can select all of them. Ctrl C to copy, and we go back to the new one. And here we go, the one with some kind of inserted. Ctrl V to paste it. And now what I want to do is just to make sure this one here is something I want to actually pull up. Just make it to go up, and make this to go up, and make this to some kind of go up. And I want to make this to go up, and as well I want to actually make sure I move it from this particular stage where it is right now down to somewhere around here. This is my setting. Now it is better for you to some kind of do it this way rather than some kind of guessing it right and come right on this one and re-edit it by moving it, just like this. You're guessing it. You might end up going back to Power BI and you don't have it the way you want to have it. So all you have to do is to be done with your creation. And once you're done and you've made the setting like this, so all you have to do, click on the one you some kind of, imported inside PowerPoint and have it deleted, and you're gonna have something like this. So now you have to export out and have what you want. Can you see what we've just done right now? Our two awesome template is ready. Now here we go, this one and this one, right? Yeah, you can do the same thing to have this one set as well, just like what we've done right here. This is what I used to do initially when I create my templates and when I do anything, both Power BI, Excel, and PowerPoint. So you have to spend some time. Sometimes I spend days, formatting dashboard. I will come back to it and some kind of open it again and feel like, okay, this is not right. I have to move this right here until I get it right. So many times the logic is just like some few percentage from what it is that you should do when it comes to the presentation, right? If you have the best logic behind the scene that will help you to tell the story, and you cannot actually convey the message, with colors, text, and alignment properly, it will be some kind of rubbish. So you have to be very good when it comes to some kind of arranging your dashboard or your report the way it should be, to be very catchy. Okay, now what we need to do is to some kind of export this out, which we had been doing previously before now. And my own kind of way of exporting this is just go right to file, and from there I'm going to click on export, and right here you can go right on this particular change file type, and what you see is JPEG and PNG. And if you're looking for GIF, it's not here, or GIF, whatever you want to call it, just double click on this and you're going to have more of it open for you. So come right here and some kind of open it up, and here you go. And inside the drop down you have your GIF or GIF right here. So go ahead and have it selected, then give it a name and actually go ahead and save it. Remember I told you, if I click on save right now, I'm going to click on years, and what I'm going to have is this, because I have two kind of slide opened. What will it tell me? Do I want some kind of export both of them? Which is no for me, right? Maybe if I want to do just get this alone, I'm going to click on this and some kind of export it out of PowerPoint. Because I want to use different name for this one, I'm going to actually come back again and do the next one. But if I do it like that, it's going to actually give it numbers. But I want to have some kind of name. I'll be very satisfied with some kind of identify each of my slides with. So I'll come back and do it one after the other. So ladies and gentlemen, this is all you need to know when it comes to creating PowerPoint our template and have it some kind of exported and imported inside Power BI. So now we've just done the part of creating our template, and the next thing is for you to go back to this particular place and bring in the template, then some kind of start writing the logic we need to some kind of create a very nice good report or dashboard. It is time to get our templates right inside here, and I just want to make the repetition of this because I have been doing it over and over again. So with repetition, it will now stick to us okay, this is what we should do. I've told you time before now that don't use wallpaper, instead use this particular canvas background. Open it up, and here you have browse on the image area, and go right here and select either of the two templates we're gonna use. Right, I'm gonna go ahead with this one right here. I'm gonna double click it, and quickly we have it, but we can't see it because it is on 100%. So for that we can reduce it. So when I reduce it a little bit, this is what I have, but I just don't want to have this. I just want to have the full color popped out. Now we have something like this. This is what you need to do to bring this in. So now on this particular image fit, is this how you want it to look like? Once I click on fit, you can see how it's kind of fit a little bit inside it. If I click on fill, so it's gonna fill everything. So fill and normal is almost like the same thing, but I always love the fit to help me fit it rightly for me. So now we've just gotten our first PowerPoint template right inside of Power BI. The next thing is for we to start to create our dashboard writing measure. And my way, I always love to some kind of, let me open it right here. Okay, I love to have a table which I call supporting table. And this supporting table would help me to host most of the DAX I'm going to write, and it will be very easy for me to track when I need to make changes. So I'm going to actually have my first measure. First measures. I'm going to load it. On the first measures, it is where I'm going to calculate most of my measures, which I've not branched out from, like how many employees do we have, numbers of male and female. So all of them, they're my first measures. If I need to branch out to create more insight, I would have to create another measure table or supporting table for that. Now we've just gotten this created, and this is beautiful. It is time for we to start writing our first DAX on this particular project. Alright, to get started properly, here is our first task. Now it says, what are the employees' status at the moment? Now, before we can be able to do this, we have to understand what a particular column is all about. I'm going to go to the Excel source where we have our file right in. Now we have every single column right here to be very, every single row in this particular hot table to be very unique to a particular employee. I'm going to come back to this in a jiffy. But now if we scroll down to the side here, now you can see where we have employees reasons, right? Now, I'm sorry, reason remains employees. Sorry for that, remains employees. Under the remains employees, we have yes and no. Yes specify that this particular employee is still living or is still working in our organization, while the no means the employee had left us for quite a long time or just a few days ago or even just today. Now that is what it is. So before we can be able to calculate this, we have to know the numbers of employees that we have existing currently in our organization. So I'm going to go back right here, go back to where we have our Power BI writing. So if you remember, we've created this particular measure to just be a supporting table for us to have some measures writing, right? So now inside it, we have total, and I'm going to have to say count rows. Maybe the question is this: why are you using count rows? I'm going to tell you why. I told you I was going to come back to this. If we go back right here, now I'm going to scroll down to the side. Now you see this particular ID we have right here right now. So this ID is unique to this employee. This very ID is unique to this employee. You cannot find this ID anywhere. So which means every single, row is very unique. The first row is unique to the last row and any other rows in the middle. So for that, we don't have a duplicate, and we are very sure of it. Inside here, we don't have a duplicate. So every single column is some for a particular thing. Like this is for gender. So we have duplicate of both male and female, but the male and female is going to be actually what is some connected to the ID right here. So for that, we can use count rows, or I'm going to actually use DAX code to do this again. After the count rows we've used, let's go back here. Here we are, count rows, and what count rows is looking for is some the table, right? And what is the name of our table? We named our table to be data. Can you see it now? This is the table name. So I'm going to type in data right here. So have it closed and hit your enter key. That is for, our count rows. So we can actually use another way to get it. So just go ahead. So I'm going to convert this to a card. So I'm going to move it down here, have it duplicated, Ctrl V to paste it down. I'm going to have it removed, and quickly I have to select right here again and insert a new measure. Now to test if truly there is some duplicate, or if this is true, we can just use hash to be number of employees. So emp, I'm going to say equal to. Now this time around, I'm going to use what I call distinct count. So the distinct count here is counting only what? Only one single value from the whole, even if we have it like 10. Once it's some sample one, it forgets the rest. So once it gets to the next one and found like 20, it samples one and it forgets the rest. So now I'm going to actually specify a particular column, so employee column. So now here we go, we have employee ID. So I'm going to have to close this and hit my enter key. If we go back right now and pick it up, let's see what we have. So we have the same number. Can you see that right now? We have the same number. So the count rows, what the count rows does when we go back right now, the count rows count how many rows do we have. Remember, this alphabet right here represents our column, numbers represents the row. Now, if I have my cursor right here right now, I'm going to actually have my Control Shift down arrow, and here it is. It stopped at this particular position. Now we have data towards. We have data from first row to 3,256. That is exactly what we have right here. Can you see it? That's exactly what we have right here. Now for the distinct count right now, the distinct count is looking at every single numbers we have right here if there is any duplicate inside it. If there is duplicate, let's say this is a duplicate. This whole I have some kind of selected, they are all duplicates, the same number, the same 6260 is what we have in the three remaining rows. Now it's going to look at the first one as very unique and take off the rest and just count as one. So for that, this is how, or this is the best way I can explain the function distinct count from count rows for you. You get it? All right, fine. So we don't need both of them. So I'm gonna actually have to get this one deleted. Just click right here and go ahead and say removed or delete from module and click on OK. I'm gonna have an error right now on this one. Okay, fine, we don't need it. We just have to get this off, remove it, and here we go. So now we've just gotten this created. It is time for which some kind of answer the first question we have right here. What are the employee status at the moment? So we have to write another measure that would definitely make us to some kind of create such kind of analysis. For we to get our current employee status, so I have some kind of inserted this table just like what we have done when we did this right here. I called it branch measures. So now this measure we have right here called total employee. So we're going to branch out from here to calculate how many of our employees are some kind of active and how many of them are inactive. So now I'm going to come right here, and from here I'm going to click on new measure. So we just have to wait for it to be some kind of inserted. Okay, pretty nice. We have this right here, and what we need to do is to calculate our total active employees, which is very simple and easy. So all you have to do is to use the calculate function to some kind of branch out from the whole employees we have and see which ones are some kind of active. So now we have a total employees, and the other way to some kind of get into all the measures you've some kind of created is to use the, I think we call this square bracket, right? So this will give you the list of measures you've some kind of created. In this particular part right here, we just have one single measure, which is the total employees, right? So now this is what you have. Then you're going to say comma, and when you put your comma, is actually asking for filter. So how do you want to filter this? So I'm going to use the filter function. Here is a filter function, and the filter function is looking for a table and filter expression. Now, what particular column do we have those employees that are some kind of active and inactive right in? That is what we need to understand. Let me just put this on a pause and go to where we have our Excel file to check that out and see what we are looking forward to seeing. Okay, now we have to go to a column that is named remains employees, where we have no and yes. So you must be very sure of what you have right here. Sometime in some columns you might find N for no and Y for yes. So you have to know what is sitting in the column. So remains employee is what we need. So I'm going to have to minimize this, and right here I'm going to type in my remains employee. So you can first of all type in the name of the table. So you have to be very sure of what the table name is. So the table that actually houses the whole column, the whole columns in our data is actually this particular data right here. So quickly you have to type in data, which is the table name, just like this. And with your comma, you're going to have to fill in the expression, like the column you want to pull something from is going to be remain. So once I actually type remain right here, you're going to see a particular column with that, so which is this column right here. Now there you go, I have it. Okay, I'm going to say where it is equal to. Just try as much as equal to count every single column that has to do with years for me. And remember, you have to put this inside some kind of double quotation. So what I want to say is where we have it years, right? So I'm going to have to close this, and here we go. Let's see if this works. So yeah, I think this works better. the next thing is for me to some kind of format it, and what you need to do is to use this particular comma separator to some kind of format it rightly. And make sure there is no extra decimal when you have this formatted. So if there is anyone, try as much as you could to limit it to 0. Okay, next again is for you to Ctrl A, Ctrl C to have it copied, and quickly go ahead and new measure, and make sure you are still some kind of selecting the same place for you to have it right here. And once this is active, actually paste it right here. And now we're going to come right here and type in inactive, right? Inactive employees. And all you have to do right now is just to change this one right here to no. And once you hit your enter key, now once that is some kind of initiated, go ahead and actually format it. And it's time for we to pick this and see what it is that we have right here, and how many of our employees are active and how many of them are inactive. Okay, now we can actually insert a particular, kind of table, right? So let me insert this particular multi-row card right here. Under this multi-row card, I'm going to have to bring the two right in and see if the values we have would be right. I'm going to bring this up right as well. So let me just kind of bring it this way. Now you can see what we have. So the total employee is actually 3,256, and here we have the inactive to be 1,249 and the active to be 2,007. Can you see what it is right now? So just that simple, DAX called calculate and filter, we're able to some kind of filter from here and get those particular active and inactive employees. So we are still going to arrive at what we have right here, but this is what we need first to some kind of create this. So next right now is to see how we can some kind of create the percentage of the active and the inactive before we start some kind of formatting our dashboard the way it should be. So I think by now creating percentages of any of this wouldn't be any big deal for you. So just go ahead and insert a new measure. Once that particular new measure is being inserted, so all you have to do is to some kind of give it a name, and you can start doing that. Okay, I'm going to say our percentage of active employees, and it's going to be this function called divide. And quickly, I just have to put my active employee right here. And all I need to do just to bring that quickly is to use this square bracket to give me all the measures I've created. And I'm going to go with the active employee divided by the total employee. Can you see it right here? So then when we have alternative 0, and here we go, we hit enter. And quickly we have to format this into a percentage and take off the extra decimal we might have right on it. That is exactly what you need to do. So I don't want this 2 decimal point to be right on it, so I'm just going to take it off by putting 0 right here. I'm going to hit my enter key. So and from there, all I need to do right now is just to make sure Ctrl A, Ctrl C to copy, and right here insert another one, and just make sure you paste this right in, just recycle through it and just make a little track, and that is all. So have it pasted right in here, and now we just have to make sure we take this off and put our inactive right here. So here is our inactive. And if I hit my enter key right now, I should have a different result. So now something weird happened. Why did this happen? The name percentage active employees already existing. Right now, what we need to do is actually come in right here to change it by clicking on close. So we can come right here and change this into inactive. Okay, now that we are done creating, all we have to do right now is to just make sure we remove this. And now it is time for we to get started to just, create something very cool. So I'm going to actually insert a text box right here. And inside this text box, I'm going to type in employee status at the moment. I'm going to have to make sure I expand it out this way. I have to bring it down a bit right here. And I'm going to highlight the content we have inside it and actually have it on 14. I'm going to put it on bold. I'm going to change this font right here to some kind of this. And quickly, we just have to come right here and change this to this color, and I want to come right to this particular effect and make sure I turn off this, and this is what we have, right? So we just want to make sure this is kind of sitting at the right spot. So this is not all, so I'm gonna go right to where we have insert right in, and from insert I just want to come right to this particular shape area, and I want to take this particular circle, right? And this is what we have. Just make it a bit smaller. Now that is okay. You can bring it all the way right here and still some kind of, touch the bit, and make sure you have a perfect circle when you do that, and align it at a particular place where you want it to some kind of sit. You can actually, step off it and see what you've gotten right, and actually click back on it again. I mistakenly double click and inserted the Q&A, so I'm gonna have to manually just shift this and make it a little bit closer to it and all this. So once I'm done with that, I'm gonna change the shape color, right? Come right here in there. Let us go to where we have style, and here's the color. We might want to use something like this for the color, and this is what can pop out very well. Now, if you look at what we have for the shape right now, we have another outline for it. So we have to remove the outline to make our shape very clean. So go right to where we have this style right in, and we just have to go down, scroll down a bit, and you have this border. Just go ahead and turn it off. And here we go. We have the border being turned off. So just make sure you take this off. I don't know what's wrong with me. So remove the Q&A. Now we have this. So it is time for we to get in our, active employee and inactive employee. How do we go about it? So this is very simple. We got this created the way we some kind of created this. You can just go ahead and type it in and format it just like this. That is all. Now, the next thing again is, this is our total employee. We don't want the total employee right here. I'm going to have to deselect it. And right now I have to go with the active employees right here. This is what we have. So to format this right now, make sure you have it clicked on, go right here, and I'm going to go to call out value. And here is 45 DNI. I just want to make it some kind of bold, and I'm going to come right here. I'm going to have it on white, and right here we just have to go ahead and deselect this, and for the label I want to turn it off, and go right here and make sure you go to effects. From effects you can click on turn off this, and this is what we have, right? So we can align this perfectly right here, just like this. So after aligning this, I'm going to copy, Ctrl V to paste it down. I'm going to move it down right here. So we have to actually get the percentage that is peculiar to it. So right here is this active one. So this is the percentage, right? Just go ahead and activate this and have the percentage of the active one right here. And quickly, we just have to go back to this particular call out value. And I'm going to put this on 20. So we have this. So I just want to make sure I go and deselect the boldness. And I want to come right here and select something like this color for it. Just make it a little bit smaller. In order for we to have something very clean, I'm just going to have it dragged right here. This is what I have. I'm going to move it up a bit. So I have this, right? So what I'm going to do right now is just to go right to insert, and from insert, I just want to go to my shape, and I have this right. I'm going to take off this stick, right? This line. So when I have to some kind of move it right here, and I just want to make sure I make it some kind of something like this, and quickly go to where we have this style right in, and I want to change the color of the fill to something like this color. Oh, that is the fill. The fill is not going to work, so I'm just going to go with the border. That is the border that we need to change. To change the border color to something like this. Can you see what it is that we've done right now? So all we have to do is just to make sure we highlight this, hole. I'm gonna have to select this one. That could not be selected. Okay, I'm gonna select this too, and then go ahead and hold your control and select this one as well. Ctrl C and Ctrl V to drop it, and quickly move this right here. Can you see that right now? So we can some kind of select them all right now, and manually adjust it and move it right where it's supposed to be, just like this. So now all we need to do is to some kind of make some changes. from the active to inactive, and from this percentage to this percentage right here. So can you see what is that we've done right now? Now, if you look at the question we have right here, it says, what are the employee status at the moment? So we can see that this is the employee status right now. So beautiful, right? So we just have to some kind of highlight this bolt, Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V to drop it down, and quickly move it right here to create what we have right here. So remember, you have to spend some time to some kind of, format this and make it on a straight line. That is all we are doing. So don't forget that every single thing we have right here is what we are following. You have to follow every single rule accordingly in order to create a very well formatted dashboard, just like what we are actually creating right now. The next task we need to solve right now is this particular, reason why employees leave our organization. Now, before you can actually do this, let us go down to Excel. Now we have separation reason right here, and under the separation reason we have voluntary and involuntary. So this is the column we are going to be dealing with right now, and it's very, very simple. So come right here and go to where we are right now. So we have employee status at the moment, and we just have to change this to something else. And it has to be some kind of, let me highlight it. So it's gonna be reasons for leaving the organization. So we just have to stretch it and open it up just like this. This is what we need to do. Okay, now that we've some kind of gotten this right here right now, the next thing we need to do is some kind of start from here to get it created. So we just have to insert a new measure. So we're still trying to branch out from total employee right here down to this right, and quickly right here we just have to type in voluntary. So voluntary. Okay, it's gonna be equal to calculate. Now I've done this before, and we just have to bring the measures, and the measure is gonna be total employee, and comma, you just have to use the filter, and now we have to bring in the table for the first time. Don't forget it's data, right? And here is our table. We just have to go scroll down, we go pick the table up, and the next again is the expression, like the column we want some kind of get something from. So if I type in SEP, I should see separation right there, right? So here we go, we have separation reason, we get it, and we just want to say where it is equal to sorry for that. So where is this equal to voluntary? And if I go ahead and close it now and hit my enter key, I should have something I'm looking to forward to see. So we have that. So all we need to do right now is some kind of Control-A and Control-C to copy, and quickly we have to create another measure. So before I do that, I ought to have some kind of formatted this to have comma separation. I forgot that, so I'm going to type here to be involuntary. So here we go. Just have to make sure we do that right here as well. So let's see if this is right in there. All right, we should have it right. So I'm gonna have the comma separated right on this, and quickly, once that is some kind of initiated, I'm gonna have to click on this one, and I am gonna have the same thing. That is beautiful. So sometimes we don't have to start from scratch again. We can recycle through what we have right here already. I'm gonna just copy those ones, copy them. So I'm gonna Control-C. So I'm gonna have to drop them down. That is Control-V to paste it. Then we have to move it. So you can actually move it from here down to here. So make sure you align them properly. So all we have to choose now is this to be some kind of voluntary. And we're going to come right here and some kind of change this one to involuntary. So now we have to make sure we give them the value that's some kind of peculiar to each of them. I'm going to select this one right here. I'm going to have this right for it. And for the percentage, we just have to go ahead and create the percentage. And I'm going to deselect this one. And I'm going to look for where we have the involuntary right in. So we have this right. And quickly we have to create a percentage for it, which I believe that you know how to do by now. So it's gonna be this, right? This is what you're gonna do. So make sure you click on this. And we just have to go ahead and change this to involuntary, percentage of involuntary. That is what we need. So it's gonna be divide this by what? Divide this particular involuntary. We have to make sure we bring it in. Here we go. By what? By the total employees. So alternative 0. So hit your enter key. And now we have to format it with the percentage number formatting. So we take off the extra decimal, we don't need it. So we have to put 0 right here. And here we hit enter. So once that is kind of done, we just have to Ctrl C to copy this from here. And we have to make sure we insert a new measure. And from there, we just go ahead and paste this one right in. And we want to take the in away. I'm going to put this one to be calculator. It's optional. You can do that. Or if you feel like you want to leave it that way, that is your own cup of tea. So I'm going to do this one. If I hit my enter key right now, can you see the way I recycle through the previous one? And format this to be percentage number formatting. And all I need to do right now is some kind of like have it on 0% or 0 decimal. That is what it is. So right now we can actually choose the one that is peculiar to this particular voluntary right here. I just have to deselect this one and have this right for it. And the next one is this right here. Deselect this one. And you're going to have this one right here for it. Okay, beautiful. We have this. Can you see what we have right now? So this is what you need to do to get this created. So we've just answered this particular question of number 2 right here. Can you see that right now? And the third task right here, it says on a table using the call center, show relevant information measures, right? So we have to do this. If I go to the previous one, let's see what we have right here. So you can see this particular table right here that actually, carries the, cost center. It has a salary, average salary, employees, yearly average tenure, and leave balance. So now we don't have those measures some kind of yet created. So we have to start to create this particular measures we have right here, from the scratch. So now let's go ahead and see what it is. But first of all, you have to understand what column we really want some kind of pull those information right from. So we have the columns right here, like our salary, like our employee rating, the sick and for last 12 days, sick days, last 12 days, and all of that. So now once you've known what columns you want some kind of get the information from, it will be very easy for you to some kind of calculate. So let's go right here. So right now here we are. I'm going to have to close this because right now I have to create a new measure, not the branched out one. So we are creating the fresh measure, right? So we have to come right here and get started. So with new measure inserted, so we have to calculate the total salary of the organization, like how much salary are we paying right now. So it's going to be total salary. I'm going to put my equal to and use the sum function right here to sum the current. So the column is named current salary. I'm going to show you what column is that. Just have it closed and hit your enter key. And now choose how you want to format this. It depends on your country currency. So I'm going to format this with some kind of, some general currency, right? Like dollar currency right here. So if you have like Naira or Ghana City, you can have that formatted in your currency or euro, whatsoever it is. So now here we go. So now we just kind of created current salary. If I go right here right now, I want to check my data table, and here we go. And we have to scroll to see where we have that cell. So we just have to scroll down to where we have that right in. So I think right here we have a column that actually, go with that. So it says current salary right here. Can you see that right now? So we have a leave, we have tenure of month, we have tenure days, we have age group, and all that column. So any column that is not some kind of existing right here, if a question is being asked and you can't find the column, maybe it is something that has to do with you branching out to get it right from the previous column you have created something from. That is exactly what it is. Don't forget to some kind of format your dashboard nicely. So now we've just gotten this created. Let's see what is next by inserting a new measure. So with new measure inserted, we're going to some kind of calculate the average salary of the employees. I'm going to type in here average salary. So it's going to be equal to, using the average function right now. So I'm going to have to use the average function and say current, salary. We just have to close this and hit our enter key. That will give us the average salary of every single employee in the organization. I'm going to have to go ahead and use the, this particular kind of number formatting for it. So next now is for we to create our yearly average tenure. How do we do that? So we have a particular column that is named tenure, right? So first of all, we have to use a divide function, then the average function. So what are we trying to average? So we just have to go for tenure. So when we scroll down right now and look at it, we should have this particular, tenure days right here. And it has to be, so go ahead and close it and your comma. So the denominator to be 365, days, and the alternative should be 0. I'm going to have to close this. This is what we need. So I'm going to hit my enter key. This is all we need to do to some kind of create the yearly average tenure. All right, next is for we to create our leave balance. And it's very simple. We have already a column that carries some numbers about the leave balance. So we just have to sum the column together. And I'm going to type in here leave, and it gives me leave balance. I'm going to have to close this and hit my enter key. And that is all we have. So we have to format this using the comma separator for it. So here we go. So we've just some kind of calculated every single thing we need for this particular task number 3 to be some kind of solved. You see it right here on the table using the cost center, show relevant information, like measures, right? So now that we've just some kind of created all this right now, what is next is for we to some kind of start to get it visualized on a table format. How about that? Right, let us insert our table. So we have different types of table right here. We have table, and we have this particular matrix right here, and it is still a table, but we're not going to use the matrix one. Instead, we're going to use this particular table right in. So I've just gotten it inserted. I'm going to bring it up right here. So I want to have some kind of open it up down to this particular aspect like this. So let's see what we have. So we just have to go to where we have the data right in, and we have to locate the column we're going to use, which is the cost center. So here we go. This is all we need from the data part, right? And the next thing now is to fill in those particular, measures we have created to get the information we want right on our dashboard. So let's go with total salary. And I'm going to go with the average salary right here. So make sure you click on the average salary and go right here from auto, put it right on 0 and hit enter. Let's see how this number is going to some kind of get reduced. Now here we go. We should have something just like this. It is well readable. So don't forget about the rows we some kind of went through right here. You have to make sure you shorten the numbers by all means. So don't use too much decimal point. It's not going to be really healthy for your dashboard. That is rule number 9. All right. Here we go, back right here again. So let us get our total employee. So our average tenure here, and we go with our leave balance. So we have all this. This is not what we want to see. We have to make sure it's some kind of something that looks very clean and could be some kind of understood at a glance. So now it is time for we to start to format this table right here. Okay, let us make sure we fill it down to this end just like this. And first of all, we go right to this particular format your visual. So go to this particular general and come right to this particular effect. And this time around, we are not coming here to turn off the background. Instead, we want to change the background color, and I'm going to paste a code right in here right now, which is very easy. Just go ahead and paste the same code I have right in here, which is this particular #2B004D. That is beautiful. Now we go back. This is what we have to do for the first time. Now we've just changed the inner color to the top color we have right here, and it's going to make our dashboard look very well polished. So now we can step off this right here. So we are through with that. So make sure you still have it some kind of clicked and come to visual aspect, right? For this particular style present, we don't have to actually go right here. Go to this particular grid line, and I'm gonna have to paste the same color right on this particular grid line right here. I select the same color for it, and I come right here and turn this one to 7. Right now it might look some kind of weird, but don't worry, look, the end result is what we are very, very much interested in. Now close this and let us go for the values. So we have to make this one right here 14. So we have this on 14, and we just have to come right here, just scroll down a bit. Scroll down a bit. This is where we have to some kind of play with, the colors we have inside it. So we're gonna have this text right here to be on white. We're gonna have it on white. So now we can see it better, don't worry. And right on this one right here, I'm gonna have it in something like this. So right now, this is what we have. So just cool down. We are about to get it transformed rightly for you. So we can scroll up a bit and turn this off. And we have to go for the header. And we want to make this some kind of 15. So go with 15, and we're gonna make it bold, and we have to change the header of the header color. Let's go with something like this. Okay, sorry, that is the text, so we just want to make the text not be on that color, so sorry for that. I'm gonna come right here and change the background to something like this. So I'm gonna go with this particular kind of background, and now we can go ahead and change the color to fit into it. Just go with this color. Right here, this is what it is. So we can actually make sure we open it up a bit just to make sure we take that off. Okay, next one is for we to some kind of take down the total. The subtotal is not what we want to see or have. So I'm gonna have to get this off. And now for the total, I'm gonna have to turn off the value. So it makes my dashboard look very cool. I can have this opened up, and we just have to move this up. So having scroll is not ideal. So we don't want to have scroll. We want to actually take every single scroll right off and make sure we have something like this. So, okay, now for we to do away with those white, colors right here, still go back to visual and click on the value area right here. So I'm going to scroll down a bit, and here we have the background. So we have to change the background right here to something like what we've used before. Don't worry. And go back right and choose this color for it. And I still want to go right here for the alternative background. We just want to go ahead and use the same color. So we now have something like this. Can you see what it is right now? So we are still right there. You can scroll down. When you scroll down like this, you can see where we have specific value right here. Sorry, specific column. On that specific column, what that particular part does is this. If I scroll down a bit now, you can see we have this cost center right here, which is this particular column is what we have selected right now. So, and you can actually activate either of those three. So I just got this activated right now. If I deactivate it, nothing happens. But when I activate it right now, I can now see more options for me to some kind of format edit with right here. So I have alignment to the right or the left hand corner. We can align it middle. You can see how it is right now, and we can actually align it to the right hand corner. Depends on what which kind of alignment we want to use and all of that. We're not some kind of restricted to that. For the text right here, we can actually go ahead and change the text color to any color of our choice, just like this. Can you see it disappears because it's some kind of weird, right? So let us leave it on the default, right? So I just want to show you what that particular part does. So what I want to do right now is just for me to get some space. I'm going to have to some kind of highlight this area right here. So I'm going to have to move it closer a little bit to this ones. Then there will be space between this chart and the other part of the chart. So let's see what we have. This is what I want to have. So you can just play around with this and make sure you have equal alignment for your chart based on what we have right here. Remember, I spent some time to some kind of have this formatted pretty nice like this. So you have to spend the same time to do this. So if we go back right now, right here, so what we can do is just to go back and have this table clicked on and go right here, and from there we want to click on the value area, and I want to make sure I bold the value I have inside it to look just like this. Now this is something very well formatted. So next is for me to some kind of format this with some kind of number formatting. And how do we go about it? It's very simple and easy. Let's see how we do that. The way to format this, all we need to do is to go back to this particular add data to your visual right here. So once you click on it, you can see, so this is what we want, some kind of format. So we want to format this particular salary, and remember, you can double click on this particular part right here and have it active, or right here, and some kind of add to the description of this particular column. I'm going to type in cost right in here, and once I hit enter, you can see I have cost included. Total salary cost, which had not been there before, has just been included for me. Now, let's say you want some kind of add data bar right now. What are you supposed to do? Or conditional formatting. Just click on this particular part. It's going to open this up for you. So once you have this, all you have to look for is this particular conditional formatting right here. So you just have to click on that. So once you click on conditional formatting, so you're going to have those, right? So you're going to have those. So you have different types of conditional formatting right here. You can see we have background colors, we have font color, we have data bars, we have icons, and we have web URL. So right now, what we want to some kind of use is data bars. So once you click on that, just let it some kind of come up. You now see what we're going to do to have it the way we want. Now, here comes the data bars right here. So if you want to change the color we have right here for the positive, all we have to do is to do this. And you can actually go ahead by using lowest and highest value. So if you want to actually use lowest and highest value, or you can decide to use some kind of custom, which we are not some kind of interested in, right? So all we just need to do right now is to go right here and click on more. Let us add the color we want to use for the lowest value, right? This is the color we want to use for the lowest value. And if you want some kind of specify your highest value, you can go ahead and do that. But right now, we want to leave it at default lowest value right here. I'm going to click on my OK, right? So let's see what we have. Now we have something like this. So we can some kind of rank this from the highest to the lowest. So if you want to rank it, all you have to do is to click on this particular arrow down right here. And let's see what we have. So you can have something like this from the highest to the lowest salary. This is what we have right here. So now the next thing is for which some kind of do the same thing to this one, but right now we don't have to use the same color because we want this one to some kind of stand out. So we are going to do the same thing. So just go to average right here, have it open and go to conditional formatting, then data bars, and quickly what we have to do is to come right here and select this one and have a new code right pasted in. You just have to copy the same code and use it on your own. And what we need to do right now is to go ahead and click on OK, right? So this is what we have. Can you see it right now? So the next one is for this employee or total employee right here. So we want to see where we have more employees based on this particular cost center. And what we can do right now is just to click on this and go right on this conditional formatting database. And I'm going to select my previous color. Just come right here and do this and have this selected and click on your OK. There we go. We have something like this. So you can still go ahead and rank it and see how it flows. Can you see that right now? So you can choose this one on average tenure, right? So we just want to go down to average tenure, and we can just go on this and go for database, right? And quickly, you just have to go ahead and choose from the color we've used previously, this color right here. Click on OK, and you're gonna have this right here. And now for this one, let us try another kind of conditional formatting for this. And this time around, we want to use icon. So we can decide to use an icon for this. So now here we have these three types of icon right here. You can change the kind of icon you want to use, right, based on whatever it is. So there are several icons you have right here that you can use. What if you want to go with this kind of icons, and this is what it is, and you want to just be like 3 colors alone, and I'm going to take off green, and we are going to go with this particular 3 colors. If I go ahead and click OK right now, what do you think I'm going to have? Click on OK and let's see what that is. I'm going to have something like this, which is very weird. I don't like the way it is some kind of situated. And in case you want some kind of remove it totally, just go back and actually see this particular remove, and you just want to say remove icon, or when you say remove all, which means going to remove from everywhere. So just go ahead and remove icon, and let's see what it gives us. This is what it is, right? So now we go back to it again. We go to conditional formatting. We can go to icon, and here we are back to icon again. Now we have to specify where we want the icon to be aligned. So I want my icon to be aligned at the right of the data. So now here we go, and quickly you just want to change the kind of icon you see right here. I'm going to change this. I want to remove one of the icon. I don't just want these 3 colors. If I click on OK right now, let's see where we're going to have it right in. So now can you see where we have it right in right now? This is where we have the icon right in. So now you can choose from different types of icons we have right here and just test out to see how everything goes. So you can remove it. And I told you, if you go and remove all, it's going to take off every single icon you have. If you have more than one icon, it's going to take it off. But this one alone will only take this one off for you. And for you to have it right back again, all you have to do is to click on that particular part where you want to have that icon right in, go to conditional formatting and go ahead and click on icon. And there you go, you have your icon. Try as much as you could to specify where and how you want it to some kind of align, and just go ahead and choose any of the icon. If you want to go with this one, it's fine. Just go ahead and click on OK, and this is what it is. You're going to have something like this, and it's going to help you to some kind of mark the highest to the lowest for you. And if I come right to right now, it's going to some kind of help me to sort it from the highest down to the lowest value. So you can click either of the columns to some kind of sort it the way you want it to be sorted. Remember, when you sort a particular column, it's going to be, unsort the other column. So if I sort this column right now, if I go ahead and sort this column right now, you can see this column will not be sorted again. So it's going to actually, unsort it for me. That is exactly what you should understand. So this is how to format this. But one thing is left untouched is this particular line we have right here. Remember, you can change it to any color of your choice just to make sure it matches your dashboard. It's all your choice though.